All right, YouTube Big Germ's Garage. We are loaded up, ready to go. We're heading to the farm. It's a little hot today, so I don't know how long we'll be there, but we are going to test drive a couple things that I bought recently. So I'll show you real quick, and then I'll get more footage at the farm. So we got the two mini bikes, MBX 10 mini bikes. They're both going. We got the Yerf dog. We've got the Tomberlin go-kart, and then we also have the Yamaha Big Bear 250 that I got for $100 about a week ago. So stay tuned. Give a little bit of gas. Not yet. All right, let's go. Don't run them over.
Patrick, get out of the way!
Don't go through the field.
What?
Don't go over too close to the plant. They'll get going in a second. Watch out for him coming out. Here, you want to ride by yourself? You might go faster. Alright, we're down here at the farm. My pull rope broke, so I'm going to go ahead and have to change it out here in the grass. So, this is the Predator 212 motor. It's got 8mm bolts. I'm going to have to pop these loose. There's one towards the back. Oh, I need an extension. Make it a little easier. Be careful not to drop the bolts out here because in the grass. Might not find it. Okay, so here we have the pull start, and it looks like just the rope broke or the knot came loose. So I'm going to try to feed it back in. First thing I'm going to do is actually, oh well, it's not the spring, something else is broken. Alright, well never mind. It seems like the spring is broken on the inside. It will not wind up. here Patrick is on one of the Motovox MBX 10 mini bikes with the stock engine. I guess it's a 2.5 horsepower. This is the one that's actually running. I don't know what the other one is. The other one will run, but it just does not move. It's really slow. This one's actually kind of slow to start off, but once you get going, it builds up speed pretty good. So Patrick's going to take it down the road and back. So let's see. Really slow to start, but once it gets going, speed picks up pretty good, and it does not seem to do very well in the tall grass. The front yard, we haven't cut the grass in about a month down here at the farm, so where we're parked, to get over there, the grass is pretty tall. But see, he's moving pretty good now, but it takes so slow, such a long time to get going. And I know watching other videos on YouTube, those little mini bikes seem to be pretty awful when it comes to speed. But let's see, there he is, and his sisters are riding in the Tomberlin go-kart. So he caught them pretty quick. They're going kind of slow. They're just kind of cruising around. But we'll see what he does when he comes back. But yeah, he seems to like it, but it's just so slow. The other one runs. I don't know what the deal is. I don't know if it's a governor issue or not, but it doesn't want to rev up. The linkage for the governor and the throttle and everything seem exactly the same as the one he's riding now, but I mean the thing does not move. When they first got here, Patrick was on the one he's on now, and Peyton was on the other one that doesn't want to run right, and she was basically pushing herself most of the way with her feet because it would not move. So that one that he's riding might be okay like it is, and maybe the other one that's not running right would be a good one to try out. Whoa, 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 whoa. Shit. All right, so I'm sorry I had to cut the camera off. It was more important to get down here, but as you saw, Patrick just wrecked this little mini bike. The mini bike was running. He seems to be all right. His knees are a little scratched up. Elbow's a little scratched up. He seems to be okay. No broken bones that we can tell. Do you want to ride that back, or do you want to ride in the go-kart?
I'll walk it back.
You don't need to walk it back. I can walk it back.
Okay.
You want to ride with Peyton?
Yeah.
All right.
It's
so
not storming.
It actually looks like it might storm. Are you about ready to go?
Yeah. Yep.
All right. So give him a ride back on the go-kart. I'll give Bella a ride back on the four-wheeler, and then I'll come back and get this.
Okay, well, no, next time I play.
All right. So as you can tell, this one seemed to be running pretty good. He had a little bit too much speed coming around this turn here. Sort of fishtailing all around. All right. Let's see. We'll see if it starts. It'll run. The chain popped off of it. That's one thing that happened. The chain popped off. All right, we'll fix that later. All right, cool. Well, he's okay. Getting ready to ride the go-kart back. Let's get them going. Yeah, I was recording, and then Patrick wrecks this, so I had to cut this off and start the four-wheeler and come over here. You okay, bud?
Yeah, my knees hurt though.
All right. Well, look, when we get back, there's blue paper towels in the front seat of the truck.
Yeah.
Get those and get a bottle of water and get the paper towels wet and kind of wipe off everywhere you got cut. What?
Next time I'm probably gonna ride it.
All right, YouTube, so we're back from the farm. I got all the stuff behind me. We just unloaded it from the trailer. I'm going to walk around and tell you exactly how the day went. I didn't get as much footage as I had planned on because we had some issues, but whenever you take as much things or as many things as we took today, I always seem to be working on them. I spent more time working on the ATV and the go-karts and stuff than actually riding or making videos. So we did ride most everything. Storm came up maybe a little bit towards the end, so we left a little bit earlier than we had planned on it. And then Patrick wrecked the one of the mini bikes. So I'll go around and explain kind of what happened today, some of the stuff you might have seen in the footage, and then also talk about kind of what we think about the go-karts and different mini bikes and everything. So let's see. Alright, so today we took the Motovox MBX10s, the mini bikes that I bought about 2 weeks ago for 150 bucks. The only thing we did before we went was put the new chain guard on this one, new chain on that one, which you see the chain's off, and new chain on this one as well, and brake pads. That one also got a brake lever. So, took these two. First thing the kids did is they wanted to ride these two mini bikes. They took off down the driveway, and a couple minutes later, while I was messing with the ATV, this one would not really even go. Like, the motor starts right up, but it does not move. I mean, that one is slow to get going. I mean, it takes forever, and you pretty much have to pedal the first, 30 feet or so, and then it slowly starts moving. But then it starts actually picking up some speed, and it's not that bad. Amazing how slow it is to start. This one would never get to the point where it would actually start to build up speed, and I don't know exactly what the deal is. When I just pushed it out of the trailer, it felt more difficult to push. It feels better now. Like, the back wheel is locking up. I don't know if the brake pads are sticking. I didn't even think about it when we were down there, because that maybe is the problem. But these things, I know they've been around for a while, so a lot of you probably know a lot more about them than I do, obviously. But these throttles barely move. But when I do the throttle, and you look underneath here, the black piece on the carburetor won't go any further. So it's not like there's anywhere else to go. I just feel like it needs more throttle than that, to me. I don't know. So I didn't want to change the motor. I know that's a big thing on YouTube, switching out the motors on these. And I mean, that might be what we end up doing, because the kids did enjoy them. But since they both ran, I wanted to take them and ride them like they are, to just see how they did, with the 2.5 horsepower stock motors. So this one, she took it down the driveway, we pushed it back, and then pretty much it sat by the truck for the rest of the day. So the Yerf dog, they rode this for a while. Patrick complained he didn't like this railing being as far in as it is, because it was kind of in his line of sight. They said it didn't turn very well. That was another thing. The front wheel up here seemed to have a wobble to it. But the biggest issue was the pull starter. So the rope came out. I thought it was just a rope that was broken, but it ended up being the actual spring. I was still able to start it by wrapping a tie strap around it and pulling it. It still started fine. The cover to the airbox fell off at one point, so I just left it off. Actually, for some reason, it was flooding, and this was like full of gas, this area, so I just left that off so I could see better, and we didn't really ride it that much anyway. Once that pull start broke, it was more of a hassle to start it. So the kids rode it and then kind of turned it off, and that was it. So between this and the yellow one, the kids seem to like the yellow one a lot, the Tomberlin. The only problem with this go-kart that I can see is how heavy it is. I mean, it is extremely heavy. It doesn't go super fast. Peyton thinks this one's is faster than the red one, than the Yerf dog. Patrick thinks the Yerf dog might be faster. I don't know. But the Yerf dog is lighter, so it would make more sense. But that has the Predator 212 motor on it, and this one has the Mitsubishi 6.0 horsepower. So 6 horsepower versus 6.5. So that would make sense that the Yerf dog would be a little bit faster. But the kids like this one a lot better. There's more room. Peyton and I actually went for a ride. She rode me around, so it handled, her and I on here, no problem. It was enough room. We weren't, on top of each other, where if we were on the Yerf dog, it would have been a little bit more difficult. The shocks on here seem to be better, but this thing kind of sounds like a tank going down the driveway. It's got a lot of noise to it just because it's as big as this. But I think the plan, they want to keep this one. They want to keep the Tomberlin. So I think what we might do, and if you watch my videos, I don't know if you can see it from here. In there's a box of parts right there. You can see the exhaust sticking out next to that silver box. I bought a bunch of parts to build that Predator motor. When we got this motor, the motor was locked up. The guy said, got it to run. It wasn't locked up. I think it was an issue with the pull start, which now the pull start spring's broken. So maybe that was the original problem, and I kind of broke it free and it finally gave away, but whatever. This motor I wasn't sure exactly what it was going to do, so I didn't want to build it up and then find out the motor was bad or some other issue, because like I said, the guy said it was locked up. But it does run and it seems to be okay. So I think the plan is to take those parts, build this motor, take the governor out, try to make this motor faster, and then switch this motor over to the Tomberlin here. I'm probably going to take that Mitsubishi motor out of there, put that one on the Yerf dog, and then probably sell the Yerf dog. Just it's too much stuff. As you can, if you watch my videos, we've got go-kart, mini bikes, go-kart, four-wheeler, go-kart, mini bike, or ATV, ATV, ATV. It's just not enough room. So plus spent a lot of money here recently on some of this stuff, so it would be nice to sell some of the stuff we're not going to use. So I think we're going to get rid of the Yerf dog, but have the Mitsubishi motor on it, put that Predator motor on this Tomberlin, and kind of build it and see how it does. Now if that motor ends up not being very good, I do have a new Predator motor in the garage in a box. So so the next thing to talk about is the Big Bear 250. If you went go back in the videos, I bought this last week. The guy originally thought it was a Grizzly 250, but it's not. It's a 2007 Big Bear 250 Yamaha. You didn't see many videos on it because I was actually in a hurry, and I'll tell you a funny story. So there was an Odyssey, a Honda Odyssey, I think it's a 1984, 83 Honda Odyssey listed on Facebook. So what I did was the guy wanted to trade, and I was just curious what his price was. He didn't actually have a price on there, so he said, or trade price, no lowball price. I don't know, it was something. He didn't say what the price was, but he actually said he would trade stuff. So I was just curious what his price was, and he said $1,400. Well, I'm not going to spend $1,400 on much of anything. So the next thing I asked him was like, what is he interested in trading? And he was like, what do you have? So I started naming some things. I told him I had a Yerf dog, I had the Big Bear 250, the Black Cat go-kart over there, and the KX 100, and some other things. That might have been about it. And the little Grizzly. Yeah, the little Grizzly 80. And he kind of wanted all of it at first. And we got down to where he would take the Big Bear 250, the Yerf dog, and the Black Cat, which would have been fine with me because I only had maybe, let's see, 200, about $600 in it. Maybe $700 if you include all the batteries and stuff, but maybe about $700. So that was a Friday night I started texting with him. The Big Bear wasn't ready yet. It was running barely. Actually, I'd pulled the carburetor off and I hadn't gotten it back on yet. So I knew it would start because I got it to turn over and start with starter fluid in the trailer. So quickly I tried to get the Big Bear complete that last Saturday because the guy we were going to trade. But long story, he lives like an hour and a half away, and I kind of decided that I really wasn't looking for an Odyssey, and I'd hate to give away 3 things that I could sell and get a good amount of money for and buy something else that might be more interesting. So I put a lot of work into the Big Bear, and then I kind of pulled back. And so in the rush to get what I was going with the story is that in the rush to get the Big Bear ready, I didn't make many videos. I didn't make any videos. So I'll tell you what I did to it, since you might not know. So I started working on this crack here. If you remember, it was about 1/4 of an inch wide from here all the way up to here. If you notice, it doesn't look very good right now, but I'm not finished with it. It is black plastic that I ended up using because that's all the kit had. But my plan is to go back. I'm going to build it up in a couple more spots. Like it's kind of thin right here. I'm going to try to get it built up in some of the areas where it dips down, like there. It's a little bit lower than where it should be. I'm going to build it back up and sand it back down again, and then I'm going to actually come back in with a little bit of green paint. So it's not as noticeable, but it's better than what it was. The plastic welder, I'll get some videos of using that. I'd never used one before, so I was kind of curious how it would do, but it pulled that crack together pretty well. There was another crack down here, which the piece was completely apart. You could pull one side of it and it would separate, but now it's pretty stiff. This one I actually did from the back. That was the first thing I did. to see how it worked, and it seems to be holding pretty good. I actually fixed a couple other cracks, like that was a pretty good crack right there. I haven't sanded that down, and on the other side. So I worked on the plastics, charged the battery, which today, before we even left, I found that the battery was not holding a charge. So I tried charging that while we were at the farm. That was one of the issues. But if I put the battery, the jump starter on it, it would start. So it's got to be the battery. I'm going to try to charge it overnight tonight and see what happens. I don't know if I left it on or what. I do have a seat cover coming for it. You can see that seat's got tape on it. The back tires, if you remember seeing it in the video of it in the trailer, and I've already mentioned it earlier at the farm, but this tire was blown on the other one, had a hole I could put my thumb through. I actually went and picked up that tire and that one and 2 other ones just like it. The other ones are really bald. They were 40 bucks. So put those on pretty quick, and then I fixed the pull start. I actually got a video of that. If you go back a video or 2 of fixing the pull start, it was that one. One thing that I had a little bit of trouble, once I actually got it going, I could not get this to go into reverse. And I knew you had to have it in first gear to get it to go. But there's actually a linkage that comes over from the brake, and it kind of screws in, and that was kind of messed up. So I just unplugged it, so now it goes into reverse pretty much whenever. So we ended up having, I guess, bypass that a little bit, but it still works. But the brake line, the line from the brake that comes over and plugs into that lever to keep it locked in place unless you have your foot on the brake, that cord had messed up. But yeah, so this seems to be good. But that's all the stuff we took today. The 2 mini bikes, Yerf dog, Tomberlin, and this four-wheeler. The four-wheeler did fine. While I was there, I had to put a new petcock in it because that came in the mail yesterday or the day before, and I didn't get a chance to put it in. So I spent my time messing with this petcock and the battery, messing with the pull start here, trying to figure out why that mini bike wasn't running the way it's supposed to, with like no power. And then that was pretty much it. Luckily that ran the whole time, and that ran until Patrick wrecked it. Chains popped off, the front fender is broken, but not a big deal. It still runs. No other real issues, and he's all right. Just scratched up knees and elbow and stomach, I think, scraped across the ground as well. But anyway, thanks for watching Big Drum's Garage. Sorry I didn't get more videos at the farm, but like I said, we were kind of busy messing with the things, and I did get some footage, so hopefully you got to see some of the things move around at the farm from earlier. All right, well, see you next time. Make sure you subscribe, like, and I'll see you next time.